Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marriage Matters podcast with your hosts, John and Dom, where we discuss all the matters of marriage because we believe that marriage still matters.
Yes.
Baby girl, what's up?
What's up? How are you?
I am good. Can you believe we are finally here? The first episode in the
our
studio.
own studio.
Yo,
wow, that's incredible.
We are here, man. Yeah. We're super excited, man, and all our hard work has finally paid off.
It has.
We got some furniture now.
Oh, sitting pretty too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice. You did good.
So talk to me. How you feel about it?
Wow. I'm at a loss for words. I really am.
Find them words, girl.
No, but it's incredibly exciting. I'm really overjoyed, and more than anything, I'm just excited to be doing this with you.
Yeah.
And to know that we're walking in purpose and we're doing what God called us to do and operating in obedience.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, me too. It has been a long journey. As the old folks say, some sleepless nights. But
that's
man,
you were tripping over the furniture.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the furniture. It was hard to find these mustard chairs, man.
It was, but you committed. You stayed the course, and we're here.
We're here, man. And so, we're super excited to be doing our first in studio episode. I know this room looks different to everybody. Because, of course, the last couple episodes, it was a gym.
Yep.
Then from the gym, it was just a black room.
Yeah.
And now you see everything that kind of has come together.
The whole Marriage Matters, spot.
Yeah.
We're making it happen.
Yeah.
I love it, too.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that you are excited about being here with me. And so I'm excited about being here with you. And on yesterday, we did a thing.
What was that? What did we do? Tell the people what we did.
Yesterday was our 5th year anniversary, man.
Yes.
5 years. Shout out to us.
Shout out.
Yeah, girl.
My guy.
So how does it feel to be with me for 5 years? Talk about that.
I should be asking you how it feels. I let you be with me for the past 5 years.
Nah. I was the catch.
Oh, wow.
I'm just joking. I'm out here trying to change scripts, right?
Listen.
My bad. I found a good thing. But yeah, man, so happy 5th year anniversary,
happy 5th
Queen.
year, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. And so, yeah, man, we are 5 years in. And so I know some people may be hearing that whoa, wait a minute. Y'all just 5 years in?
Y'all babies in
this thing. Y'all don't have no real skin in the game, man, to be talking about marriage. And so let's just this episode really, man, we just gonna just let the people into our world, right?
Let's do that.
We're gonna let them into our business. And
who is John? Who is Dom?
I don't know. Who are we?
Talk about it.
Who are we? Right?
Who are you?
I don't know.
You should know. You better know.
But we're gonna find out on this episode though. But so I know some people may be having questions we've only been married 5 years. What gives us the right to speak to the institution of marriage? And so just a little background on us. Dom and I both have a prior 10-year marriage under our belts.
Right.
We both were married 10 years prior to meeting one another. And so I can speak for me, then I'll let you speak for yourself. But for me, I learned a lot. Yes. I learned what to do. I learned what not to do.
Yeah.
I made several mistakes, taking some of the blame. I had to grow. I had to learn. And so through that divorce, man, that's really where my passion really came from. Mm-hmm. After making that mistake once, I vowed to myself that I'll never make it again.
Yeah.
And it was important for me to put in the necessary work in myself to make sure that I was properly equipped to do marriage and to do marriage God's way.
Was marriage always the goal for you in spite of what you endure, or you went through?
Yes. Marriage was always the goal for me. I know how some people feel after they get a divorce, they're like, you know what? I ain't going down that road again.
I've heard that.
I ain't going to nobody's wedding. I ain't going to be no bridesmaid, no best man, no nothing.
Right.
But for me, that wasn't the case, man. I've always loved being married. I've always wanted to be married. And so
Right.
I wasn't going to allow the mistake of my divorce cause me to not get back up and get back in the marriage game again.
Yeah.
And so that was just one of the things for me, man. I was committed to getting back into it. What about you?
I think that's the idea. I think that's what's so important. And the same for me. And I've said this before, like in some other conversations. I always knew I was wife, and so in spite of like how my previous marriage, the way that it did not work out, I always knew I was wife, like at heart, because that was always my heart's position and my posture. And I knew that was God's best for me.
Right.
And I knew I wanted it. I believed in the institution and I wanted it God's way. Like you said, I made mistakes. It's when your marriage fails, it's never just one person's fault,
Absolutely.
So
wait a minute now. Ooh, that's a whole
that's a whole episode.
Because I mean, you know, I think whenever we leave marriage, let's just say if there's a specific reason that we are leaving the marriage, and it is to the other person's fault.
Right.
Well, we just major on the reason that we left.
Right.
We major on the straw that broke the camel's back, and we say it was that caused us to divorce.
Right.
But if we're honest, man, divorce typically starts way before you even get to divorce.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've even heard it said that oftentimes, like, you're gone long before you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, and so that piece of it is on both people. That doesn't belong to just one person.
Right.
Oftentimes.
Right.
Now, of course, in situations, and I think it's important that we say this, of course, we don't condone or support, or we say, yes, stick it out in situations of habitual abuse or infidelity or things like that would interfere with your mental state, your mental health, or your physical health, right? Even God wouldn't support that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in most cases, if we were to be honest and we reflect on the wisdom that we've gained, that a lot of times things can be worked through. And I think that's so important that we kind of deliver that message here on this podcast. Marriage works, but it must be worked on.
It must be worked on.
Because we can all find 1,000,001 reasons why I just got to get out of this, or I just got to go.
Yeah.
But we're here to help you all divorce-proof your marriages.
Divorce-proof.
Divorce-proof your marriages and do it God's way.
And that's another thing. Like, I don't think that whenever you're in the thick of things in marriage, I don't believe that people really believe that it's possible to divorce-proof your marriage.
Oh, yeah, no, not when you're in it. Not
because when you're in it, man, you're again, you have 1,000,000 reasons why you should leave, why you could leave.
Yeah.
But man, truth be told, you really only need one reason to stay.
That's so powerful.
So you find 1,000,000 reasons why you should leave,
powerful.
what he or she is doing wrong.
Yeah.
And, like, again, you're majoring on that. But why not find the one reason to stay together and just work that?
Because it's easier. It's easier to cling on, It's easier to cling on rather than search for or find the good, because the truth be told, I often think about the fact, when people say, now here we are now, which is being transparent. We're both, divorcees.
Yeah.
But my heart, I know it's for marriage. And so back to what you were saying, it's easy to find 1,000,001 reasons why you can just leave, rather than lock in on, what do you have? What have we built? Things like that. And I often think about, and I know this is, I often think about, when people leave, if you would just consider everything that's attached to you and attached to your marriage and your children and generations and their lives.
It'll make you want to stay.
It'll make you want to fight a little harder and find that thing.
Yeah.
That's worth working for.
Yeah. Man, divorce ain't cheap.
What you say?
Divorce ain't cheap. And I ain't just talking about.
I think a blues singer made a song like that. Cheaper to keep her.
Cheaper to keep her.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Divorce, but divorce ain't cheap.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying just on the financial side. I mean, on the emotional side, the spiritual side, like you mentioned with the kids. it's not cheap. And I do not believe that we should just be giving up on marriage just for the sake of, letting divorce be the easy route, man. Like divorce should not even be an option.
It's a mirage. When you see it as the easy way. Yeah. It's a mirage. It really is. What appears to be is not.
It's not.
It really isn't.
Yeah, yeah. So
we're so glad that we've figured out how to do this thing God's way, right?
Right. And so we are here. I mean, we made it through a divorce. We're 5 years into our marriage.
Yes.
So one of the questions we always get, people want to know, like, how we met, like, where did we start? Yeah. Like, how did John meet Dom? How did Dom meet John? So baby, go ahead and just tell the people, how you chased me, man.
Oh man, come on!
Tell them
really?
how you chased me down.
You know what? I am proud to say I did chase you down, John.
Yes, you did, girl.
I did. I chased you down at the altar. I chased you at the altar to make it to the altar. And look at that, full circle moment.
So let's give the people the story. Tell them about it.
I'm gonna tell them. Wow, you're proud of that, aren't you? Look at you.
Not really.
You're not really proud. But
a little bit. But I mean, it ain't my fault. You chased me though. Wow. But let's tell the people how we met though.
Okay, all right. So
even if it make me look good, tell them.
No, okay. I'll try to give the shortest version of this possible.
Give them all of it.
All right. Okay. Whatever. So of course, I'm coming out of a divorce, and I'm talking to a friend. At the time, and I'm expressing to her, like, hey, I want to start dating again, and we're just kind of conversing about that. And I said, I feel good about it. I think I want to get out there, And so probably a couple Sundays prior, I just kind of noticed you at church. Now, we'd been going to church probably together for, by this time, a year or two, but I had never seen you until that day. And then I saw you. Okay. So, and I said, oh, okay, he cute, whatever. So I was telling this mutual friend about the fact that I noticed you. And she just kind of said, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about, whatever. And so that was it. Mm-hmm. And then the next Sunday came around, and then I saw you again. But like every time that I saw you, this is the thing that really, really attracted me to you was the fact that you were always doing something. Like you weren't just at church just to be at church. Right. Like you were active, you were serving, you were up, you were doing something. And I was like, I want that. I love the fact that you were doing that. And so
my serve made you come for me?
Your serve. Listen, people.
Oh, man.
It was your serve.
So basically what you're saying is that the people who ain't married yet.
Listen.
That, if they get served and somebody may start looking at
somebody might notice you, because if you're not up serving.
If you're not up serving.
How am I going to see you?
How am I going to? Right. So, to the single person.
Listen.
You need to find out where you can serve at, where you can be the hands and feet of God at in your local church.
Because you know what? Because I said, well, if he's serving here, then he can serve our family. He can serve our household. He can serve me. And so...
You're talking good, woman of God. You're talking good.
I do that. I tend to do that sometimes.
Okay, get back to your story.
So anyway, I saw you serving. I kept seeing you. And I kept mentioning you to our friend. Probably for a month or so. So you know what? I said, I'm going to take it upon myself, because she wasn't really giving me anything. She said she knew you, but that was it. So I wanted to talk about you, but she wasn't giving me anything to continue with. And so probably about a month went by, and I was like, you know what? I saw you up on the altar. We did the altar call. So I tried to like time it. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to, try to go up and at least try to get him to pray for me.
Hold on, man. So I'm up serving, doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work.
Praying at the altar. And you trying to come get me to pray for you?
I mean, what better man?
Man. I'm flattered, but boy, check your heart.
That's my story. Well,
go ahead. God knew your heart.
He knew.
Okay.
And so I go to the altar, and I think that I'm timing it correctly. I get up and I'm almost like to you, you're like the next person. I get cool. And then someone gets in front of me. And, it's like the man at the pool. Like, just when I was getting ready to get in, someone would come up ahead of me, and I'm like, God, I got to wait till next Sunday for someone to stir the water,
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
And then next Sunday I went around and I thought, man, I'm timing it just right. And it didn't happen.
I mean, so who were you getting if you weren't getting me at the altar?
Listen, y'all. So we have this amazing, well, I wasn't getting you, but so then I would have to go up and find something to tell them, ask them to pray for me for. And so, and let me tell you this, we have this amazing minister at our church, and she's awesome. And I kept getting her. Minister Betty. I kept getting Minister Betty, and
Betty.
She would just hug me and embrace me. And I needed that. I didn't need that. And so I guess me going to the altar was in no way in vain. However, I wasn't going up there for Minister Betty, right? So it's so funny. 3 Sundays in a row. So the third Sunday when I got up there, and I realized that I was going to Minister Betty, I just started crying before I even got to her. I was like, this is my fate. I ain't gonna never get it.
Wow.
So after that, I quit with the whole altar thing. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. This is not, maybe he's not the one. It ain't it.
Wow.
And I went back to our friend, and finally, after sharing my experience with her, and I brought you up again and just mentioned, told her everything, that I've been doing for the past month or so. And we laughed and all that. And she was like, all of a sudden, she's like, you want me to get his number? And I was like, of course. Like, how do you, do you have it? Can you give it to me? She was like, yeah, girl, that's my brother. I was like, I know you lying like all this time. And that's your brother. So, yes. Shout out to my favorite sister-in-law in the world.
Favorite sister-in-law in the world. Wow.
So that's how that happened. She got your number. I think, so here's the kicker.
I mean, she didn't get my number.
No. She had my number, yes. She had your number. She gives me the number. No, she gives you my number.
Right.
She gives you my number. You text me. You want to tell this part? I'm going to tell this part.
I mean, I'm going to tell. Well, okay, you know what? I'll tell it, but I'm sure you're going to find a way to say that I didn't tell it right. So she gives me your number.
Yes.
And I was out of town working. And, of course, she had told me that that you had recently went through a divorce and, that you were, I guess, new to the dating game or whatever. And so
right.
I guess the first thing that stands up in me is like the minister.
Oh my God.
And so like, I send her a text message and I'm like, hey, my sister told me that you recently went through a divorce. And so I just want to let you know that I'm praying for you. If you need anything, just let me know. I pray God's best for you. I'm being super churchy, right?
So overly churchy. I'm like, this dude, what is this?
Hey, man,
I was like, dude, I don't want your prayers right now.
I mean, I was new to the dang game too. And so, I was just like, maybe sis need prayer, man.
Sis was not looking for your prayers.
Wow. Well, nevertheless, like I text her and she ghosted my
I did.
She ghosted my text message for like 4 or 5 months.
4 months.
And this is the thing. This is the crazy thing. Like, you tell me that you're trying to get at me, and then you ghost me.
Dude, you sent me that weird response. Like, how was I supposed to take that? Because there was nothing that said, oh, yeah, I want to talk to you too. I'm praying for you. Like, nothing about that response said that you were in any way interested. So I was like, oh, well, never mind. And I ghosted you. I didn't respond.
So you ghosted me.
I did.
5 months passed.
Yeah, about that long. Yeah.
And then what happened next?
So a friend of ours, she was like, hey, what's up with that church dude? That's what she
church dude.
Yeah, she said, what's up with that church dude? And I was like, yeah, girl, yeah, nothing's up. And she was like, text him back. And I was like, no. And I was like, did you see how lame that text was? And she was like, text him back. And so we were sitting on my living room floor. I'll never forget. And we were like both watching, waiting for you to respond. So I sent the text. And then you said, who this? I was so done. I was so done. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have texted him. I knew I shouldn't have said anything. Like, who this?
I mean, I didn't save your number. And then honestly, like after you ghosted me for like 5 months, man, like I had forgot about you. But I just felt like my prayers had worked and I was, I was moving on. But
tell the people how quickly you remembered who I was.
Yeah, so I mean, I did text right back and like, oh, this, is this Dom or whatever? But I mean, it wasn't that I hit you with the who this, you know what I'm saying, trying to throw you off. Like, I real deal didn't know who it was. But of course, it's very rare that, someone from a, strange area code hit me up. And so you have a 704 area code, and I did remember that. And so whenever I thought about it, I was like, bet, like, okay, that's dumb.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo,
okay,
what's up?
Yeah. You know what I really appreciated about that, though?
What's that?
When I text you, and then you responded, whatever, and then we sent maybe 2 or 3 exchanges, and you were like, hey, I don't text. Can we talk? And I thought, you know what? This is a real dude. Yeah. Yes, let's talk. And then we ended up talking. That night for probably about an hour or so.
Yep. And then I asked you, you asked me, am I going to church tomorrow? Yep. And so I think we met up at church and talked for the first time in person.
Yep.
Right? And then we end up, I want to say we both went to the 8:30 service.
We did.
And then we end up talking after 8:30 service.
Yeah.
And before we know it, we looked up and parking lot is empty.
Yeah.
So we talked clean through the 10:30 service. Man, we just sit on air, man. I'm sure the pastor was like, where is John at right now? Like, this man got something to do, and he out
he's
there.
Serving. He outside serving.
He out there parking lot pimping.
John.
But yeah, man. But no, like I think we just got lost in a moment and we talked for the first time in person, and then I think from there, man, it's just been amazing from there ever since then. So man, that's our journey, man. Like,
well, that's the beginning of our journey.
That's the beginning.
Was the start
that's
of it.
That's the beginning, man. And so, I think we dated for how long before we got married?
About 6 months.
6 months, yes.
I would say, let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so, about 6, 7 months, I would say.
6, 7 months?
You think?
I don't even think it was that long. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think it was that long.
So it was 6 months before you proposed, and then about
something like that.
About 2 months
something
after
like that.
we got married.
Something like that. Yeah. So I mean, that's the story, man. And so she chased me. And I
was persistent.
You were.
I almost gave up on that last hug. I was like, this ain't even it.
Yeah. On that last Mr. Betty hug?
Last Mr. Betty. I said, you know what, God, I hear you. Just go sit down. Go somewhere and sit your tail down.
Yeah. So, okay.
But
well,
here we are.
Here we are, man. 5 years later, we're in this thing, and I have enjoyed every moment of it. We've had our ups and downs.
Yes.
We've made some mistakes early.
Yeah, we did.
In marriage. I can't say that we always did everything God's way.
A lot of self-involved.
A lot of self-involved, yeah.
You know, I think, and I'll go ahead and finish your thought. I'm going to remember what I need to say.
No, go ahead.
You know, I think, so there was for us, and I think you can attest to this too, there was a bit of a luxury for both of us having been married before. Mm-hmm. Because we, to a degree, we learned some things and we knew how marriage should operate, right?
Right.
So we knew what it should look like. But I think the downside to that is that because we knew what it should look like, we had built these fences coming into this marriage and we did not extend each other grace initially. So it was like, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. I'm not going to tolerate this.
Yes.
And we had no grace for each other and for our journey. So there was no grace for this new space that we were in. And so in a way, we brought baggage.
We did.
We unintentionally,
right.
So we thought we were doing the right thing by putting up all these fences. But that's just not how it works, because we didn't remarry our old spouses. We married each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I remembered us having a conversation about that at one point, because I remember I felt like, yes, I was making mistakes. I'm not negating the fact that I was doing things wrong, but I was making mistakes. But your response to my mistake, like you said, it had no grace associated with it. It was like, you would have thought that this is something that I had been doing wrong for 10 years. And we ain't even been married but year one.
Right.
But there was no grace associated to my mistake, because you were looking at me as if I was the ex. And so you were kind of, at times, we were responding to each other based on our experience with our ex. Now, although we went through and we did our best to, get free and get healed, but there was still some residue there.
Absolutely.
And I
agree.
think a lot of times in marriage, no matter what you do to get free and to get healed from all those prior marriages or prior relationships, sometimes there's some residue there.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the residue doesn't come up until it's irritated or agitated, if you would.
Yeah.
And so if your current spouse does something that mimics or mirrors your ex, it triggers something.
Yeah.
And you may have thought you were free.
Yeah.
You thought you were good, but you now see the way that you respond in this new time, in this new relationship. It should now remind you that, hey, man, you know what? No, I need to go back and do my first work over again. Maybe me and my spouse need to talk this out. Maybe I haven't forgiven the way I thought I had forgiven.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some freedom that I need to seek and go through, because I'm not as good as I say I am if I'm holding my spouse accountable for the things that my ex did to me.
Right. I agree. I 1000% agree.
And so I think a lot of times that's just kind of where we are.
Yeah.
And we went through that.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of our beginning stages where we kind of was hitting that brick wall at the top of our marriage, it was because, like you said, we just wasn't extending grace.
Yes.
If you're married for the first time, you're going to be a whole lot more lenient in the first marriage.
Right.
But the second marriage is like, I ain't tolerating nothing. Like,
you better not breathe wrong.
you breathe wrong. Yeah. I got the divorce attorney on speed dial.
That's it.
That's kind of how we start moving.
Yeah.
If we're in a second or even a third marriage, or some may have more than that. Whatever the case may be.
Right.
But
or like you said, even just from not particularly marriages, because just like maybe long-term relationships and things that we've been in, or any type of relationship. You know what? Or even, and I may be kind of jumping too far ahead, or even relationships that we've seen or been a part of, or like our families. Like we grew up in environments and our mom or dad or whatever the case may be said, well, you don't take this, don't take that. You're not supposed to, whatever. So we bring those things over into our marriage, and we don't extend grace, and we don't allow our marriages to envelop and evolve the way that they should.
Yeah.
That can be a danger as well.
No, definitely.
Definitely.
So
other people's experiences got you out here messed up.
Got you out here messed up, and you're not extending grace. You're not being patient. You're not being long-suffering, but yet and still we want those things, but we're not willing to give them. And so for us, that was a big issue in the beginning years of our marriage.
There is where I disagree with the statement that experience is the best teacher.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Because for us, even though we had experiences prior to, it was not the best teacher for us.
No. The best teacher concerning marriage is the word of God.
Absolutely.
Every
time, all day.
All day, every time.
Yeah.
God created this institution.
Yeah.
And, he has the blueprint to it. And the blueprint for us in marriage is the word of God.
Absolutely.
I always give the example, it's like, if for instance, if I have a Samsung TV and that Samsung TV stops working, I don't call Philips. Mm-hmm. I don't call LG because they didn't make it. I need to call the manufacturer. Yes. I need to call Samsung.
Yes.
And so it's the same way in marriage. When your marriage begins to act a little funny or glitch or whatever, you don't need to look to the world. You need to look to the word of God.
The word. Yeah.
And so I think for us, again, we just didn't extend grace. We were not being patient. We were looking to our experience and not looking to the source, which was the word of God.
Yeah.
So, I would do something and you would look to experience and you would respond to me through experience versus responding through the word of God.
I agree. Yeah.
And so, again, like
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, but most of the time, that's all.
But no, for us, man, that is why we had some hardship, if you would, in the beginning stages of our marriage, because we just didn't, we didn't go back to the blueprint, man.
We did not.
We didn't go back to the blueprint.
What was the moment that changed for you? What happened to where you were like, you know what? I have the desire to do this right. I want to do it right, but I'm not. I've got to make a shift. We've got to make a change. What was it for you?
I think for me, it was one time I was just kind of, in God's face, just kind of praying. And I always pray the prayer of God, show me me. Mm-hmm. Like, don't let me be out here thinking I'm good and I ain't good.
That's a very effective prayer, but don't pray it unless you're ready.
Hey, well, that's the thing. So, I mean, I always pray it. Yeah. And I pray asking God to show me myself.
Yeah.
Like, let me see me. And one day, man, he told me, he said, and he was like, in my language, he was like, bro, you finna mess up and lose this woman. You
about to lose your job.
But no, he was like, bro, you about to mess up.
Yeah.
And I think for me, man, I was just real stubborn in the beginning. I was kind of set in my ways. Like, I had been through a 10-year marriage, so I knew how I wanted to do marriage. I knew how I wanted marriage to look. And so, like, I was real headstrong on that.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I was doing things that wasn't necessarily wrong, but I wasn't operating in the fruit of the Spirit. I wasn't operating in love. I wasn't operating in my marriage, through the Word of God. I didn't allow Holy Spirit to lead and guide every area of my marriage.
Yeah.
And so he told me, he was like, man, you about to mess up.
Yeah.
And I value you enough to know that I need to make a change.
Yeah.
And so whenever he told me that, I began to make changes. I began to put in the work and make the necessary corrections.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like for me, I must say, like when I start making those changes, you wasn't the best. You wasn't the friendliest person when I was making those changes.
I was not, because I was sick of you.
You were sick.
I was so.
But
yeah.
But and I'm gonna hit that real quick. Mm-hmm. Like, but I think it's important that whenever we're making mistakes in marriage, that even when we begin to correct our errors, man, God, again, I always pray, God, show me myself. And so although now he showed me myself, I start making these changes and now I'm doing right. I'm running my marriage through the word. I'm letting the Holy Spirit lead and guide me into all truth. I mean, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And man, you just start tripping. And I'm like, hold on. And so now I'm back in the face of God. Like, God, hold on now. You told me to do this, that, and the other, and I'm doing it. And she out here doing this, right? And then again, he showed me my subject. He said, hold on, bro.
Yeah.
He said, I never forget. This is how he said it. He said, did I give her to you like that?
Wow.
That's what he told me.
Wow.
That's what he told me. Like, whenever I was like, God, like she tripping. He said, did I give her to you like that?
And where did that take you?
Well, number one, it upset me. I'm like, hold on, God, I ain't come to you for this. Like,
We ain't even here for this.
Right, But he was like, did I give it to you like that? I said, no. He said, well, good. He said, well, you got to understand that she is now who you created her to be. And so he told me
Sounds like a garden situation.
Man, look.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, he said, I didn't give it to you like that.
Yeah.
And so what you got now is what you created. He said, you caused and created her to become hard and harsh and stubborn. And, I like how Dr. V says it. Dr. V says that, the woman is a likewise. Mm-hmm. And so basically I had pushed and created you to become my likewise.
Wow.
And so really all you were doing is mirroring me. But now that I was making these changes, I didn't like it. I'm like, oh no, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? Like she should be doing good now. And so what God showed me was that I had to give you as much grace and time as you gave me whenever I wasn't doing right.
Wow.
And so now basically I got to sit here and bite the bullet.
Yeah.
I got to be okay with you being my likewise.
That's good.
I got to be okay with you being my likewise until you get healed and free from all the hurt that I have caused for that first year or so of marriage. Like I got to give you time now to get that, give you time to get in the face of God and work through that. And I can't be impatient.
Yeah.
I can't be like, nah, you need to get this, whatever fixes. No. I can't be like that.
Right.
I got to be patient. Because you were patient with me. You stuck around and you stayed when I wasn't doing the right thing.
Right.
And so God said, hey, I didn't give it to you like that. You created that.
Yeah.
And so now you got to give her time, space, and patience. And so, man, that's where it clicked for me. And yeah, that wasn't a sweet spot. It wasn't a sweet spot because I had to remain in that position, though.
I was going to say, you had to remain sweet, even though it wasn't a sweet spot.
Even though it wasn't a sweet spot. Even though I felt like I wasn't getting back what I was giving.
Right.
I had to remain.
I'm sorry. Ish. I'm sorry.
You sorry?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's where we were. And so, I mean, my message to you guys, man, like if you're making changes, once you come to yourself and realize that, hey, man, I wasn't doing you right. I wasn't responding to you right. I wasn't considering you and considering your needs. And you begin to make the change. You got to understand that you got to give that person time to heal from whatever scar that you place on that heart while you were not doing things right.
Right.
Just because you get it together all of a sudden doesn't mean that out the blue, I'm good.
Isn't that how we are, though? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm good. We should be good.
Right.
No,
man.
But it doesn't work that way.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
And so, we got to be willing to go the course and, walk that journey with our spouse.
Right. You say that often. And you said it recently. We were having a conversation and you were like, even if I'm experiencing something, as a couple, we are always experiencing something.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer of that.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
and how it pertains to this and, situation.
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer of this. No spouse is never working on something alone.
Right. Is it? Yeah. Right. Okay. No spouse is ever working on something. Got you. Okay.
Right. No spouse is never working on something alone because we are one.
Yes.
And so because we're one, if you have an issue, we have an issue.
With you.
Right? And so because you were healing from everything that I did wrong in the beginning of our marriage, then we were healing. I couldn't just say, well, no, I'm doing good now.
Right.
God, make her do right because I'm doing good. No.
Yeah.
We are still healing from whatever mistakes were made in the beginning of the marriage.
Right.
And so no one spouse is ever working on something by themselves.
Agreed.
And you can take that and blanket that over all marriage. Like,
right. Yeah.
if one spouse has a porn addiction, we have a porn addiction.
That's heavy.
Oh.
That's heavy.
Oh. If one spouse has a porn addiction, we have a porn addiction.
Wow.
And you may say, hold on, how is that even possible? Because this is the thing. They may be dealing with the struggle immediately themselves, but my now responsibility, once I find out about that porn addiction, now my responsibility becomes praying for them.
Yes.
My responsibility is now asking God, what do I need to do? How do I need to respond to this?
Absolutely.
How do I need to help them get through this? You know what I'm saying? So, I got to get in the fight with them.
Yes.
I got to get in the fight with them to fight this addiction.
Man, you talk about residue. Man, that's real.
Yeah.
That's right. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't see it that way. He going through this or she's doing that or, no, we got this problem.
We got this problem.
Yeah.
I think as long as you see it as an individual problem, it's going to remain a problem.
That's the one.
As long as you see it as an individual problem, it's going to remain a problem.
Because guess what? When we're successful, we're successful.
We're successful.
But it's only when we're having issues that it's their issue.
Yep.
Their problem. Their hang up.
Yep.
Their misstep.
Yeah.
So we got to change our language.
We got to change that.
Yeah.
We got to change that. It's whenever we were going through those issues in our marriage, like those were our problems.
Yep.
And when you were walking your journey and the road to forgiveness and healing, because of my stubbornness and my pigheadedness in the beginning of our marriage, like that was a journey that we was walking together.
Right.
Although it looked different.
Yeah.
It looked different, but still, I had to understand that, okay, this is what I caused, what I created. This is the bed that I've made.
Right. And oftentimes we don't want to confront that.
We don't want to
deal with that.
We don't
right.
I mean, who likes looking in the mirror except when we put a fresh fit on? That's the thing, man. People don't like looking in the mirror in marriage when it comes to marriage. People don't like looking in the mirror when it comes to marriage, man.
That's so good. But as spouses, we are each other's mirror.
We are each other's mirror. And that's something that I've learned if I want to see me, if I want to see what I'm doing, if I want to know if I'm getting things right, if I'm right with people, right with God, right with my children, man, I can look at my marriage and determine it. I can look at you and know if my life is off somewhere else.
I agree.
Because typically, all right, let's look at it from my relationship with God. If my relationship with God is off, my relationship with you is off. And so I can look at you and me and know, well, I can't be right with you and be right with God. Because if you and I are off and I go to God, first thing he gonna tell me to do is, hey, get out of my face and go get back right with her.
That's it. Yeah.
Like he ain't gonna let me be in his presence just worshiping and falling all out and God, I love you.
Right.
And
he's like, how?
How? And you're not taking care of the thing that I gave you. You're not taking care of your good thing. Like, get out of my face, go get that right, and then come back.
You think God said, get out of my face?
I mean, I believe he'll say it.
I believe
he'll say it. I mean, people try to make it seem like, don't get me wrong, he's loving.
Of course.
And he's an amazing father, man, but still, like, I feel like God sometimes like, yo, hey, get out of my face and go get that right.
Right.
And then come back.
Well, just like an earthly father, I'm thinking like, what God said, get out of my face. You would say to our kids, like, get out of my face and go clean your room. Basically, go make that right.
Go make that right.
You know what I'm saying?
You talking about, can you go somewhere?
Right.
Get out of my face.
Right.
Go clean your room, and then come back and holler at me.
You can go to those dishes.
No, man.
Yeah, I know, but that's so good though.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. So your spouse should be your mirror.
Right.
Allow them to be your mirror. And so don't be afraid to look in the mirror. Don't be afraid to ask your spouse, hey, how am I as a husband right now?
Right. Am I getting it right?
Am I getting it right? How am I as a wife right now? Don't be afraid to ask that question because, like, you're not going to be honest with you, but they are. And then from the outside looking in, your friends are not going to be honest. Well, they'll be honest to the degree that they know.
That they know, of course.
So even they can't fully tell you if you're doing everything right as a husband or a wife. Ask the person that you're married to.
Agreed.
So I mean that's a good checkup sometimes. Hey baby, am I good right now? Like am I hitting on all cylinders right now? And be okay. Be okay with looking in the mirror. Be okay with having that dialogue with your spouse. Right?
I'm with you. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And for the record, you are.
I am.
You are.
Thank you, girl. I'm hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder though.
Man, you like a V8.
V8, room. You so silly, girl.
V12, AMG.
Okay then, AMG. Ooh, twin turbo.
All that.
All that, cammed up and everything, right?
All that. What's a cam?
Okay.
All right. Hey man, I was good at V12. You kept,
I don't know.
I knew
I
I've
threw
heard
you
of
off
that
with the
before. You
cam.
threw me off with a cam.
My bad. So yeah, man. So that's us. That's where we are. And so I know, like another question would be, again, we're just trying to let you guys in, let you see, right? And
exclusive,
right? Exclusive first episode in the new studio. But another thing would be, like, how did you guys get here? Like, knowing what God wanted you to do.
Right. I had that question for sure.
Yeah. And so I think I never forget. I knew I wanted to do something. I remember like once I met you, like once we got like, I don't think I had this passion for marriage until I married you.
Well, my God, I'll do that to you, and I did that. I did that.
Like I knew God had called me to do something. I knew ministry, but I must say that
I mean, you must have known that like week one.
I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like once we got together, this marriage baby, I guess it just began to leap, if you would.
I feel that.
And so I always knew that it was something concerning marriage that we needed to do. I didn't know exactly what direction, what we needed to do. And so I was thinking something total opposite of what we're doing. And then I never forget, I was beginning to work on something else. In the marriage counseling field because I love counseling couples. I love doing marriage counseling, and I have that opportunity to do that on my job. But I was looking to further that.
Right.
And the Lord told me, He's like, no, do a podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get behind me, Satan. Like, why you talking to me right now, devil?
Right.
Because I'm like, a podcast? Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember, but I saw that for you though.
For me.
And so whenever you brought it to me, you remember I said, well, God told me that, but I saw it for you. I never saw myself being a part of it. Just based on conversations that we've been having, just around marriage and stuff like that, and the fact that you do it on a daily, you do it, in your job, and so I had been seeing that for you. I was like, man, you should really do that. And just looking at other podcasters and other hosts and stuff like that, I mean, like, you'd be really good at that. And when the Lord told me, I just never heard it for us. I heard it for you. But
us is here.
We are here, right? So
yeah. So God said do a podcast, and I remember. So I know I heard God say do a podcast, and I remember just moving forward in that. But in the back of my head, I was kind of hesitant because I didn't yet hear the assignment. I knew God said do a marriage podcast.
Okay.
And so we were doing it, like we got moving, but like I was still waiting for God to tell me what our assignment would be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need an assignment.
Like you need a mission.
Right.
Right.
Like, right. You know, so like, you know, what's our mandate?
Right.
If you would. And so I never forget, it was June 29th, 2023 this year, and it was 10:29 a.m. I was heading back to the church. I had just got done running an errand. And so I was heading back to the church, coming down Moffett Road, man, and I heard the Lord said, restore honor back to marriage.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's our mandate, that's our assignment.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
It's heavy.
It's heavy, like restore honor back to marriage. And so I remember for the first time ever, whenever God said that to me, I had three emotions all at one time. Like three emotions all at one time. And like I was like really for a moment, I was like on an emotional roller coaster. Like really? I was a wreck.
Walk me through them.
Walk you through them?
Yeah, like what were you feeling?
And so the first emotion that I had, like I was super, super excited. I was happy.
Okay.
Because I finally heard what our assignment was. So like now it's easier for me now to move forward, although we were moving forward, but now I can do it better now because I know what the mandate is. I know what John and Dom are supposed, because listen, man, it's a marriage podcast all over the place.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, God, that space is already occupied.
That's what I thought too.
Right? And
for sure.
You know, I wanted to be obedient, but I was hesitant.
Yeah.
But man, like, so the moment that he gave me what our mandate, what our assignment was, and that is to restore honor back to marriage, I got excited. Like, man, I finally got the answer. But immediately following my excitement, I got sad. Like, so much so that I began to just boo-hoo cry.
Wow.
Like here it is, man, like, you know, you would think somebody called me and tell me my dog just got hit or something.
Not Molly girl.
Not Molly girl. But yeah, man, like, so I began to boo-hoo cry. Like, like I'm talking about like weeping.
Where did that emotion come from? What was that about?
So that came on the heels of my excitement. But the reason that I began to cry is because I was sad that was even something that had to be done.
Wow.
Yep. I began to think about the institution of marriage and how beautiful it is.
Man.
Like this amazing opportunity to spend the rest of your life with now your best friend, this person that comes in and you guys do life together and you operate in purpose together and they know you, you know them, they help you, you help them, you guys build one another. And so this amazing covenant, right? It's one flesh.
Yeah.
This amazing covenant now that you have now entered into with God and before friends and family, like it's so beautiful. But man, the fact that honor has to be restored to something that was never meant to be broken.
Wow.
Man, it made me sad. It made me sad. I can see that. It made me sad.
You know, part of the reason, and I've said this to you before, and I could see how that made you sad because we have people calling marriage everything but what it really is. Mm-hmm. Or expressing. So we're so big on expression.
Yeah.
So I want to express it this way. First of all, you didn't create it.
Right.
So you don't have the right, to call it anything other than and express it any way other than what the creator intended for it to be.
Right.
Right. And so I could see how that could be heartbreaking because so many people are taking marriage and doing whatever they want to do with it and dishonoring themselves and dishonoring God by calling it what it's not.
Yeah.
You know? So talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I think, again, whenever I got so sad, I thought about everything that was going on with the institution of marriage. I thought about the divorce rate. And I think what saddens me the most about the divorce rate, and I never want to make it seem like it's any higher in the church than it is in the world. Mm-hmm. But what upsets me the most is the fact that we're in the church, we have the creator.
Oh, man.
And we are getting divorces at the same rate.
As the world.
Yeah. Again, I never want to try to paint the picture. I'm not 100% sure of the statistics of which one is greater.
Right.
But it just saddens me that we have the creator.
That we're even in the conversation.
That we're even in the number.
Right.
And we have the living God through the person of Holy Spirit living and abiding on the inside of us, but yet and still we are going through divorce at the same rate as the world, the ones who experience the institution without the creator.
Right.
And here it is, we have the creator.
Right.
And then not only do we have the creator, we have the owner's manual.
Talk about that. Yeah.
We have the creator and we have the manual, which is the word of God.
Of course.
But yet and still, we are still experiencing divorce at the rate that we are. And so for me, it saddened me, man. And so I moved from being sad to being angry. Like, again, this is like all happening at one time. I'm
right.
like, I'm happy, I'm sad, and I'm mad.
Yeah.
And so I'm mad because, again, I begin to think about the attack that's on marriage. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always, even before God gave us this mandate, I've always prayed for marriage. But now that I got my assignment,
it's on.
This thing hit different now.
Yeah, it does.
It hit different now. I pray for marriage differently now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I know I'm called to it. I have an assignment. I have a mandate now.
Right.
And so with that, don't get me wrong. I mean, don't just be out here looking for an assignment, because I mean, with the assignment, I mean, once we agreed to the assignment, our marriage began to go through. You know what I'm saying? In every way. And so, don't just be out here saying, "Ooh, that's so cute.
Let's get an assignment.
Let's get an assignment. Let's get a mandate me." You know what I'm saying? No, because with that, man, like it was rough. It was rough these past few months, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically.
Right.
Like every area of our marriage was challenged, because the moment we got our assignment, now Satan says, okay, they're forced to be reckoned with now.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have an assignment, they're being obedient.
I know, right?
So
that's what he hates.
Right. So like, it's one thing to know you got an assignment, but you ain't doing anything about it.
Exactly.
But
He'll let
like,
you just have it.
Right. No, you good. Go ahead. But these jokers got an assignment and they doing something about it?
Yeah.
They moving? They spending money that they ain't even got on this podcast?
Right.
They out here telling folks they starting a podcast, and no, I can't have that.
Right.
And so our marriage began to kind of, take some hits, and it's cool, man. Like, we were here for it.
Oh, for sure.
I think we weathered the storm pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So yeah, I went through that anger moment too, man. Just like being mad at the devil.
Yeah.
Mad at everything, man. Just like, you know what? I'm mad about divorce. I'm mad at infidelity. I'm mad at, poor communication. Man, I'm just mad.
Right.
And so I went through those moments, man. And so I made it through. I'm glad we got our assignment. And man, we are here.
Yes.
We are doing the thing that God has called us to do. And I am super, super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal. I mean, I see it. It already is.
Yeah.
I really see God doing a thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And like you said before, I'm just glad that we're in a space that we can be obedient, that we're willing to, we want to. So I'm just ready to see this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm ready to see lives and families and marriages impacted.
Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
the good.
Absolutely.
Right. And see families restored, and people and children and communities and a society being impacted the way God intended because of our obedience.
Right.
And I believe that's going to happen.
Right. Right. At the end of the day, man, like, we're pointing you back to God.
Yeah.
We're pointing you back to God. We are not out here for our own gain. We want you guys to find God through it all.
Yeah.
And be able to allow him to come in and lead and guide your marriage. It's our prayer that you guys grow. It's our prayer that you You get stronger. You get wiser. Yeah, and so we're not trying to point you back to us, man. We ain't trying to look. Let me go and be clear. Crystal.
Yeah.
We ain't out here. We don't have a motive. We don't have an agenda.
Right.
We ain't trying to start no church. Look.
Really, John?
I just feel led to let the people know.
Wow, you think someone would be thinking that?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I want to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
Clear.
Right.
We don't have an agenda.
Absolutely none at all.
Like, we ain't fake. Like, what you see on this podcast and YouTube channel and what you will see in the episodes to come is us being real and raw. We're not trying to get anything from you. Again, we ain't trying to start no ministry, no church. No. We have been called to the ministry that we are a part of, which is Right Way Christian Center Church. Yes. That's what we've been called to, but we've also been called to do this podcast, and we've been called to marriage.
That's it.
And so that's what we want to do. So that's it. So I don't know why I went that direction, but I mean, hey.
It was for somebody.
It was for somebody.
Someone needed to hear it.
Somebody needed to hear it. So I think we kind of let them in on enough.
You think they're in?
I think they're in. I think they know enough about us and kind of why we got started, how we got started. And so
I think that's fair. I mean, we got to save something for later.
Save something for later.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Every week.
Every week. Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
3 p.m.
Central.
That's right. So, listen. Before we get out of here, though, man, we got some thank yous.
Yes,
we have some thank yous. Listen.
Yes, we do.
Everything that you guys see now, we couldn't have done this on our own, man.
No, not at all.
Listen, whenever God gives you an assignment, He assigns people to the assignment.
Yeah.
And man, God has graced us and given us some amazing friends and family members and loved ones that saw the vision and that has stepped in and said, "Hey, man, I wanna help you guys out. I wanna help you guys get to this journey that God has called you guys to."
I feel like that's one person in particular. I think she knew she owed us because of the way she stalled me. Okay. But let's thank the people.
Listen, man. I just want to shout out and thank the people. The first person that I want to thank, man, I want to thank my sister, my baby sister, Dorcas Allen, with the Allen's YouTube channel. Man, listen, she has been phenomenal. Like,
I personally call her the Kris Jenner.
Right. She's the Kris Jenner of the family.
Because if you know who Kris Jenner is, she's a phenomenal manager. She can do anything and get you anywhere, and that is Dorcas. She makes it happen.
Yes.
And so she's been phenomenal and a huge part of this podcast even launching.
Yeah, she has, man. She stepped in. We were kind of behind the 8 ball getting this thing going, and we called her one day and said, "Hey, we ready to start the podcast next week." And she was like, "What?" And she's like, "Y'all ain't got nothing done yet." And she just showed up, man, with her computer and she had our agenda laid out for the next few weeks. And man, she's a beast.
She's phenomenal.
She's a beast.
If y'all looking for a manager.
She's our manager. That's our manager.
Nah, she's amazing. Thank you, Dorcas.
Yeah, so Dorcas Allen, thank you so much, sis. The next person I want to thank is, man, you guys can't see him, but the person that's operating the cameras and the mics and the sounds, our baby boy, our son, Landon J. Buddy, man, thank you so much, man. He stepped in.
And he's owning it. That's what I love. He was like, "Get back, Dad." I love it.
Yeah, I was trying to correct little things. He's like, "I got this."
Yeah.
And so, man, he stepped in and he's our engineer, man. He's making it happen behind the scene for us. And so, man, thank you so much, son. The next person that I want to thank is Joe and Kyra Muckford.
Thank y'all so much.
Man, the Muckfords with vivid views. Man, listen, the intro video, the pictures that you guys see us post, the graphics, the logos, like all that is Joe and Kyra Muckford, man, and they have been a phenomenal help to us.
Thank y'all so much. Yeah, and get with them. Get with Vivid
Get with
Views.
them. Get with Vivid Views and tell them that John and Dom sent you. I'm just playing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your help, man. We really appreciate you guys. The next person I got to thank, man, is my guy, Maurice Houston. Listen, man, y'all heard that dope beat on the intro? That's Maurice, man. That is Maurice, man. That's my guy. Listen, I reached out to him and said, listen, man, I need a beat. He said, say less. And so I sent him like a sample of kind of what I wanted. We wanted something that was kind of rugged, kind of funky. And man, he did it. So my guy, Maurice, I think his studio name is like Sensei Mo.
Oh, really?
Sensei Mo, I believe. Yeah, Sensei Mo, Maurice. Listen, man, that's my guy, man. Y'all look out. He's doing some amazing things in the studio. The next person, man, this person right here, I actually just got off the phone with him. Like right before we begin this recording, man. My guy, Jason Collins with Collins AV, man. Listen, this man, I don't know where to start at.
Thank you.
I told Jason, I said, Jason, I want to start a podcast. He said, no problem. I got you, PJ. Just like that, like this man has helped me set up these cameras, sound, like the computers, audio, everything, mics, like it's all Jason with Collins AV, man. Brother, thank you so much, man, for everything that you've done for us.
For sure.
And like, not only that, man, like we got him on speed dial.
He's like readily available.
He's readily available. He's like, hey, he's like, call me back. Let me know what you need, you know? I mean, so yeah, that's my guy, man. Thank you so much, Jason. Man. The next person, Sis Zatrice Purpose Williams.
Yeah.
My girl. She is also a podcaster. She has a podcast entitled Something like Sunday School.
Yes.
Go check that out, my man.
Check that out.
Yeah.
And subscribe, download that tonight.
Yes. And so she stepped in and she helped us out get the podcast side set up. We just reached out to her. We told her what we're trying to do. She was like, y'all know how, if you know how she laughed, right? But she was like, hey, I got you. And man, she got off work and she pulled up and she just sat with us and just gave us all the tutorials, gave us the scoop and just poured into us, man. So she has she's just been amazing. And then every Sunday after Sunday, she just speaks into it. She just pours into us and lets us know how proud of us she is. And so, man, sis, thank you so much for your sacrifice, Purpose. The next person, man, Keith Turner with Mount Man of Mobile. Man, listen, Keith and Tori Turner, man, thank y'all. Listen, I remember when I called Keith and said, Keith, I got some work that I need you to do in the podcast. He was like, all right, PJ, how much time you got? I was like, I ain't got that much time. Like, like I need this done like last week.
Yeah.
He was like, PJ, I'm sold up. They just got a huge contract, and he's like, man, I'm sold up. But he was like, you know what? I can come and do it, but I'll have to do it after hours.
Yeah.
Like,
and he did.
And this man work.
Yes.
Like, if you know Keith, man, Keith work. And he came through, man, after hours. And we needed some things done in the studio. We needed TVs mounted. We needed some plugs, some outlets taken care of. We needed a ceiling fan installed. And Keith came by again after hours and did the work, man. And so thank you, brother, for sacrificing your time. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Tori, his wife.
Family time, right?
Right. And so,
thank y'all so
I'm
much.
on her time. I'm on borrowed time with her. And so thank you so much for allowing him to come out. So Keith, Mount Man of Mobile, thank you so much, man, for everything you do. Next, man, my brother, Jason King with Born a King Construction. That's my dude, man.
Awesome, man.
Jason King, he took care of all the paint work, man. This guy came by and just knocked it out. He does amazing work here in the city of Mobile. new business that's growing at a very, very fast rate. So
He's so gifted.
Man, dude is amazing. Like, and you know what's crazy about Jason? Like, whenever he come, like, I remember the first time he came to paint, I was like, hey, Jason, where your tape at? He's like,
tape?
Tape? He's like, who used tape? Like, don't insult me, brother. I'm like, you got to tape stuff off, man. Tape the trim off. He's like, nah, man. He was like, if you taping, that means your brush game ain't on point. This man painted his whole room. I'm talking about no tape, no nothing.
Yeah.
And we got black against white. Mm-hmm. And so you would think those are two opposite colors. Like, use some tape. Nah, the man did his thing. So
ain't no tape.
Jason King, Born a King Construction, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason,
for everything that you do. And the last two, man, I want to thank our pastors. Man,
absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely.
I love our pastors, man. Dr. Vincent Robinson, Pastor Mashondia Robinson, you guys are amazing. I think throughout this entire journey, they have poured into us, given us guidance, spiritual guidance, given us encouragement. They've sown into our lives financially as well. And so thank you guys so much for all that you do, man. I must say that this journey has been easier because of your sacrifice, because of your commitment to us and seeing us operate in purpose. And so thank you guys so much for all that you've done, man. We love you guys so much.
We do love you all.
And last but definitely not least, man, I want to thank everybody that has sown.
Yes.
Because we had some people, man, that gave financially to help us out as far as buying equipment. I can't call names because then y'all gonna be trying to hit them up, asking, can you borrow some money? You know, we can't do that.
Let them hold $20 to tomorrow.
Let me hold $20 to tomorrow.
Wait till tomorrow then.
Wait till tomorrow if that's the case. But no, man, we had some people that has sown financially into this podcast and YouTube channel, and I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because I will say, man, like, starting out, I was a little worried. I was like, God, you talking about do this right now, and like, I ain't got the money to do it.
Right.
But whenever God wants to get something done in the earth realm, he got people on speed dial.
That's it.
He got people. He got people. And so to everybody that sowed a seed, everyone that cash app, you know, thank you so much for all that you have sown and that you will continue to sow. And if you want to sow, the cash app on the screen, you can sow too. You can be a blessing.
Yes, right.
Right? And so listen, man, you got anything else for people, baby?
I think that's it, man. You've covered all the thank yous, all the shout outs. I think that was it.
That was it.
Cool. We're grateful.
We're grateful. So yeah, so listen, we love you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday, 3 p.m., same time, same place. Listen, man, marriage matters. And we're here to restore the honor back to marriage, one episode at a time. We love you. Have an amazing day. Peace.